Over 2,000 years before the events of Crisis Core, an alien creature crashed onto the planet Gaia. This creature, known as a Calamity or Genova, nearly wiped out the Cetra race, their contemporary name being the Ancients. With its few remaining members, the Ancients managed to seal Genova away in the northern crater. 23 years before the events of Crisis Core, Shinra scientists discovered Genova and believed it to be a member of the Cetra. The Genova project began, and two scientists, Professor Hojo and Dr. Hollander, started their own experiments dubbed Project S and Project G respectively. Hojo's Project S produced Sephiroth by infusing Genova cells into the fetus of an unborn child. Hollander's Project G produced Angeal through injecting his mother Jillian with Genova cells. Genesis Rhapsodius was also a result of Project G, however he was injected with Jillian's affected cells as a baby. Project S was considered a success while Project G was shut down, resulting in Hojo taking control of Shinra's Science Research Division. The three subjects would eventually become first-class members of Shinra's soldier program, and Sephiroth would be hailed as a hero among the ranks. They became friends and would occasionally spar. During one session, Sephiroth wounded Genesis. Genesis's wound was treated by Hollander, who then informed the director of Soldier, Lazar de Sur. They plotted to use Genesis's abilities to overthrow Shinra and end their tyranny in Midgar where they're based. Hey guys, welcome back to Games in 10. Today we're doing Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, the sequel to 1997's Final Fantasy VII. The story begins with Zack Fair training with a Sephiroth hologram under the Eye of Angeal. They're informed that there's been a mass desurgence of members from Soldier, including Genesis, who's supposed to capture Wutai's Fort Tamlet. Zack is sent to the front lines of the Wutai War in Genesis' place, along with Angeal, in the pretense that if he succeeds, he too will become a soldier first class. During the siege, Zack and Angeal encounter Genesis copies. Zack is confronted by an Ifrit summon in the heat of the confusion, and Angeal goes missing, prompting Sephiroth to suspect his defection. A month later, Zack is sent to Benora village to find Genesis with Song of the Turks, Shinra's version of the FBI. Here, Zack learns that Benora is the hometown of both Genesis and his childhood friend, Angeal. In Benora, Zack finds Jillian and learns that Angeal's sword is a family heirloom. He then finds Genesis and Angeal in a warehouse in town. They leave him behind, and after learning that Shinra is going to bomb the village, Zack seeks out Jillian only to find that she's already dead. Zack questions Angeal, but he leaves with an ominous message. Genesis then leaves Zack with a message that they're monsters, and he sprouts a black wing and flies off just before Shinra sends the air raid to destroy the village and any evidence of their involvement. Zack is then promoted to Soldier First Class, and as he's being given a new mission, Genesis clones attack Shinra headquarters. After running to the Turks, Zack is told by Sephiroth that Angeal was spotted in the Sector 5 macro reactor. Zack and Sephiroth find Hollander with Genesis. Zack chases Hollander as Genesis stays with Sephiroth. In his pursuit of Hollander, Zack is cut off by Angeal, who's now sporting a white wing. Zack reasons that Angeal is not a monster, but an angel, to which Angeal replies by stating that angels desire to be human, and he sends Zack crashing into the Sector 5 slums. He wakes up having crashed through a church greeted by Aerith Gainsborough. He notices that she somehow manages to grow flowers in Midgar and suggests that she sell them to improve Midgar and her bottom line. He takes her out, and before their date, he buys her iconic pink ribbon. It's here that we learn that members of Soldier are infused with Mako energy. Genesis begins his Shinra assault, and on his way back, Zack runs into Angeal again. Zack promises to help Angeal, and they fly to Shinra to rendezvous with Sephiroth. They split up, Zack attempting to keep Hojo safe. He finds Genesis interrogating him and is followed shortly by Angeal. They chase Genesis outside. While Angeal fights Genesis, Zack is left to fight Bahamut Fury. Genesis and Hollander escape to Modeoheim, so Zack makes his way there with Song and some Shinra infantrymen. Their helicopter crashes on a snowy mountain, and Zack finds a kinship with an infantryman named Cloud Strife who's able to keep up with him. They find Genesis in a Mako excavation site ready to kill Hollander. It doesn't seem that his condition is getting better, and he believes that Genova cells can better help him. Zack intervenes and fights Genesis while Cloud chases Hollander down. After his fight with Genesis, Zack finds Cloud and Song beaten down. He's challenged by Angeal with Hollander on the sidelines. It's here that Zack finds out that Jillian committed suicide, and Project G was named after her. Angeal summons monsters and absorbs him to become Angeal Penance. Zack is forced to fight him. Afterwards, Angeal entrusts his Buster Zord to Zack as he passes away. Hollander is then captured, as Zack embraces his new leadership role. Zack is then sent on vacation, but as he talks to Cisne and learns that Aerith is an ancient, they're attacked by Genesis clones. Sung supposes they could be being controlled by Genesis in the Lifestream, the spirit energy surrounding the planet. Sung then sends Zack to Junon as Hollander is attempting to escape. He inevitably gets away from Zack by means of two Genesis copies. Sephiroth then finds Zack and questions whether Genesis truly died. He advises him to go see Aerith. When he finds her, she's being guarded by an Angeal copy in the form of a winged dog. After his time with Aerith, Zack is ordered to go to Nibelheim with Sephiroth to investigate a Mako reactor where monsters have been sighted. Zack has to leave Aerith, but entrusts Song to make sure she's okay. As he rounds up the troops, Cloud joins the squad and realizes he's going back to his hometown. They arrive in Nibelheim and Tifa Lockhart is their guide up the mountain pass to the reactor. Zack and Sephiroth explore the reactor and find a lab with monsters being created using Mako infusion. Sephiroth explains that soldier members outside of himself, Angeal and Genesis are generally humans who are enhanced with Mako energy from the livestream. Hojo has taken that concept and pushed it to the extreme. When Zack questions why Sephiroth has encountered himself among that group of soldiers, Sephiroth breaks down. He's greeted by Genesis, who explains the Jenova project. We then find Zack with a recently conscious Cloud. He's questioning his place in Soldier. As he regains his resolve, we see that Sephiroth is combing through books from Professor Gast's library in the Shinner Manor. Eventually, Sephiroth finds a new clarity. He destroys Nibelheim and sets it on fire. He makes his way to the Mako reactor and Zack chases after him. He finds Tifa on the ground having attempted to get revenge. Zack breaks into the locked room with Jenova in it and sees Sephiroth attempting to take Jenova with him. Zack confronts Sephiroth, but is completely outclassed. He loses his sword and is knocked out of Jenova's room. Enraged at what has happened to his home, his mother, his friends, Cloud grabs a Buster Sword and impales Sephiroth's back when he's not looking. Sephiroth survives the injury and Cloud charges again. Through sheer force of will, Cloud finds the strength to survive Sephiroth's swords and overpowers him. Cloud sends Sephiroth into the depths, presumably killing him. Completely drained, Cloud crashes next to Zack. They're collected by Hojo and tested on. Zack, having had previous exposure to Mako, finally regains his consciousness after a vision of Angeal wakes him. He makes his way out with Cloud, who is still unconscious from the addictive levels of Mako he's exposed to. Zack remembers Aerith and reads the wish that she had. He becomes driven to go back to Midgar. He takes Cloud with him and makes his way through the night. He runs into Cissnei, who tells him he's being hunted. She gives him a motorcycle and he continues his journey to Midgar. Genesis intervenes and explains to Zack that he's been exposed to the Jenova cells in Hojo's experiments. Zack then continues on his journey and stops by his own town of Gongaga. Here he finds Genesis and Hollander, who reveal they're looking for S-cells used by Hojo in his experiments to halt their degradation. Zack's cells are not pure enough, so they opt for Cloud's instead. In defending Cloud, he encounters an Angeal copy in the form of Director Lazard. They make their way to Benora village in pursuit of Genesis, and when they get there, they see that the village is in pieces, with a livestream shining through it. Zack finds Genesis underground next to a large deposit of calcified Mako held by the goddess statue. This material fuses with Genesis, and he attacks Zack, hoping to take him and his friends with him to the livestream. Zack defeats Genesis, revealing a human Genesis whose degradation was cured. Genesis challenges Zack to one last duel for his honor as a soldier. Once again, Zack strikes him down. Zack carries a weakened Genesis back to the surface and groups him up with Cloud, Lazard, and the Angeal copy that was guarding Aerith. As he takes in the events that have unfolded, Lazard and the Guardian fade into the livestream. The Guardian held with it a letter from Aerith, the 89th letter she sent him over the 4 years he's been unconscious in Hojo's lab. Realizing how long he's been gone, he has a new determination to reach Aerith again. He takes Cloud and continues on his path to Midgar. We also see that Cissnei, Reno, and Rude are dispatched to retrieve Zack and Cloud before the Shinra army reaches them. Zack and Cloud ride in the back of the truck on the way to Midgar and are ambushed by the Shinra army. Zack hides Cloud and takes him head-on for his final stand. As he fights the onslaught, his memories begin to flash and fade. Memories of Sephiroth, Sung, and Cissnei. Memories of Angeal, Cloud, and Aerith. He can't bear the onslaught. As he struggles to finish the last of the army, Aerith comes to him one last time. In the church, she feels him fading away. Battered and bloodied, just outside of Midgar, Zack is approached by a recently conscious Cloud. Cloud crawls his way to him, and they share this final moment together.
Zack. For the both of us. Both of us? That's right. You're gonna live. You'll be my living legacy. My honor. My dreams. They're yours now. I'm your living legacy.